You're watching World Business Today. Well, the Crimean parliament has voted to join the Russian Federation. It's a move that has sharply escalated the diplomatic discussions over this contested peninsula over the last week or so. The United States has now responded by making good on threats of sanctions, imposing visa bans on some Russian and Ukrainian officials tied to this crisis. But relations between these two nations are still cordial. The US President Barack Obama and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin had an hour-long phone conversation on Thursday, and in it Mr. Putin said that Russia has every right under international law to intervene here. Well, Mr. Obama, on the other hand, pushed back, urging his Russian counterpart to pull back troops and also to allow international monitors into the region to protect ethnic Russians in that disputed Crimean peninsula. Well, the diplomatic moves to try and contain this tension in Ukraine continue at top levels of government. Our Андерсон Купер is on the ground in Kiev, talking to the people directly affected by these political maneuvers.
In
Kiev's Independence Square, a group of mothers protest for peace. A few dozen women, barely noticed by the crowds. The protesters still living in the square pass time with daily chores. The sidewalks are still torn up, cobblestones left in piles in case violence breaks out again. With word that Crimea will seek a referendum on joining the Russian Federation, there is anger and fear, confusion over what happens next.
Would it be acceptable for you if Crimea became part of Russia?
My mom is from Russia, this woman says, and she keeps telling me they'll not give up on Crimea. I keep telling her it's just impossible breaking up Crimea from Ukraine. Impossible, just impossible. That's the way it is now. We're used to have Crimea. We cannot imagine it otherwise. It is hard to imagine for many the pace of events here the last few weeks. I couldn't miss coming here, this woman says, to pay tribute to those who died here. I feel so sorry for those who lost their lives, for those who got wounded and are still recovering. I still can't believe something like this could have happened in Ukraine. All that's happened here is still not clear. Some still search for answers. This sign says Sasha Kapinos was killed here, but his girlfriend is looking for a witness to his death. Dozens who protested are still missing. Leonid Novitsky has vanished. Misha Vorovets as well. The sign says his friend Andrei is looking for him. Death is tragic in any case, this man says, but these people were not dying for nothing. They were dying for the idea, for Ukraine. I'm a military man, I've seen things in my life, but still, people died for their beliefs. This is very emotional. On the central stage, a young man sings. Another stands nearby. He speaks no words, looks straight ahead, his country's flag held tightly in his hands. Андерсон Купер, CNN, Kiev, Ukraine.